It's true that natto has this very unique, gooey, sticky texture, but to me that's fun. You know, it's interesting. It's something to talk about. Natto truly is the Japanese cheese. It's a vegan version of a, you know, really complex, umami-rich, like washed rind cheese. And yeah, many cheese lovers really enjoy natto and see that parallel in flavor profile. It's a food that I feel like more people need to have access to because I think it can benefit a lot of people by incorporating it into their diets. Hi, my name is Natto. I'm the founder and owner of NYrture Food, which makes natto in Brooklyn, New York. Natto is really a ubiquitous food, an everyday food that's most commonly eaten for breakfast. Yes, I feel like I have sort of taken on the mission of being a cheerleader, a spokesperson, an evangelist for natto in America. And it really is because I truly believe that natto is just so special, so unique. I think if there's any food on earth that deserves to be called a superfood, it's natto. In a weird way, I'm an urban farmer, an urban microbe farmer. I grow bacteria, and those bacteria eat soybeans, and they help me produce natto. Yeah, I'm a nerd. So, this is day one of NYrture's natto making process. Every batch starts with this step, which is me hand sorting through the beans. I kind of love this step. I love this step and I hate this step, but there's something very meditative about the process. And our beans are beautiful. I mean, they're so clean and, you know, 99.9% of them are just fantastic. I like to think that every single natto bean we sell has passed underneath my eyes. I'm a microbiologist, actually, and that's how I got into this business, just being fascinated by the power of the microbial world. And so, you know, I'm interested in how consuming some of these good bacteria, these probiotic types of bacteria in the form of fermented foods, how that impacts human health. Our first product. So those little white dots are actually chemically pure umami tastes. I mean, there's documentation, like written documentation describing natto for over 1,000 years. In the West and in America, it's virtually unknown. It makes me think that if more adults would come to natto with just an open mind, a lot more of them might find that they actually like it. This might be excessive, but I wash them 10 times. You know, soak them, agitate them, and then dump out the water. And then they sit in the bath overnight so that the beans are able to hydrate. So they will swell to over twice the weight and volume. When I first learned how to make natto from a 5th generation natto maker in Tokyo, he told me that the most important step was to choose the best bean you could to start with. And he was right. So the best natto soybeans in America are grown in the northern Midwest, mostly in North Dakota. And something that a lot of people don't realize is that most of the natto that's made in the world, i.e. the natto that's made and sold in Japan, is actually, most of it is made from US grown soy. And the bulk of that also from North Dakota specifically. So we also have black soybeans, and then we have another brown bean which is certified organic. Natto soybeans are very different from the typical commodity soybean. Thus they are non-GMO, sort of by definition. But soybeans that are used to make natto by any decent natto maker are really beans that have been selected, carefully selected over generations to be ideal for this particular fermentation process. What makes NYrture natto unique? Our natto is fresh. It's never been frozen. Unlike all the natto that is imported from Japan is frozen before export. And that's important, one, because freezing and thawing foods can really affect its taste and its texture. But two, if people are motivated by eating natto for its health benefits, freezing and thawing also significantly damages those health benefits as well.
How is it?
Good, they're nice and soft. Got some sugar to it, they're sweet. It has at least 3 completely unique properties that are unlike any other food on earth. Okay. Number 1, it's probiotic, right? It's fermented with Bacillus subtilis, which is a member of the healthy gut microbiome. So it's a probiotic bacteria that isn't found in any other fermented food, certainly in the West. So a second one is that natto is the most concentrated food source of vitamin K2 of any food on earth, and it beats any other by an order of magnitude. And so vitamin K2 is essential for bone health, but it's also very important for cardiovascular health. It doesn't matter how much calcium you eat, if you don't have enough vitamin K2 to help recruit it out of your bloodstream and bring it to your bones, it accumulates and causes arterial calcification and leads to heart disease. The third reason is that there's an enzyme named after natto. It's called natto kinase. And this enzyme is a natural blood thinner. It has an enzymatic activity which actually has been shown to be capable of breaking down blood clots. And the only natural source of it is natto. Well, there are some cardiologists actually who are starting to promote natto. So, we're really hoping to work with healthcare providers to educate them and help them educate their patients. Whether your reason is the vitamin K2 or the natto kinase content or the probiotics, why not at least give it a try and eat the food, which is 1, delicious, I think, 2, cheaper than taking a pill, and 3, you get all 3 of these benefits at once. Sit here and age and acquire flavor over the course of a week or so. Many Japanese people have told me that our natto is the most delicious natto that they've ever had, either here or even in Japan, which is great to hear. I've also gone to the national natto competition in Japan and met many natto producers from Japan, and also gotten really high praise from natto producers in Japan. I think the favorite moment of mine in the entire, week-long process of making the natto is that moment, after the fermentation is complete, when I get to just pull back the film on a fresh tray of natto and just see that neba stickiness, those spider webs sort of coming off the beans, and sort of the more resistance I have from those strings, the better I know the fermentation is, the better the natto. So it's also sort of a quality control assessment at the same time. But I love that feeling of like the biofilm resisting my pull. So yeah, we really look at this as a long game. We're at the very beginning of it right now. But you know, I suspect it may take 10 years, maybe 20 years for natto to become known enough for people to recognize it as a thing, as a food. So it'll take a while and a lot of education and exposure like this to just spread the word. Our logo, many people comment on our logo. It's actually a mathematical function. It's a Fermat spiral or a parabolic spiral. And I loved it because of the center of it kind of looks like a yin-yang symbol. And to me it represents the two ingredients in our food, the soybeans and the probiotic bacteria sort of coming together and synergizing and making something better, bigger, more beautiful than the two components alone.